Hello, my darlings. My name is Demetra Douglas, and I am the Love Witch. I help spiritual people break painful love patterns and attract safe love. I'm also a master numerologist, so I want to take a minute to revisit the number 7. A number that is so commonly spread, I would argue erroneously, as representing luck. It is also a number that I would argue correctly is taught to represent divinity. I want to talk to you a little bit about it, though, and I want to talk to you about the true frequency that is held in the realm of 7. Now, I am someone that is very confident in my perspective. So when I was developing Demetra's number system, my numerology system, my book, as I was writing, as I was creating, as I was compiling, I had no bias. I had never read a numerology opinion, ever. I was a clean slate. I had no foundation. Everything I discovered, I channeled. I paid attention to, right? I learned. It was epiphany compiled on top of epiphany. And this happened for years. I watched movies. I listened in conversation. I paid attention to what was happening, what was being said. Okay. When it comes to 7, that's a very specific energy, right? It's, my mom died 7 years ago. It was for the past 7 years, so many terrible things have happened to me. It was people coming into the rehab I worked at with 70 cents in their pocket, $5.70, $7.80, right? Very specific. Okay? Very specific. So I just want to take a minute to talk to you about that. My best friend before she was unalived, that day, she texted me and said, I just finished doing 7 loads of laundry. That night, she was murdered. So no, I have no bias. I just have very clear sight when it comes to numbers. But I'm also not above being shown I'm incorrect. Okay? So I intentionally, on Friday, I asked God, I said, God, surround me with the frequency of 7, because I want to make sure that my opinion is correct and my eye is properly oriented. Immediately, I was met with a frequency that I do not miss. It's a frequency that I would describe as PTSD. It's very on edge. It is very uncomfortable. It is a very unpleasant frequency. Everything is just anxious in that realm. It's associated with trauma. It's associated with the wound. It's death and rebirth. Okay? It's very uncomfortable, right? It's disconnected. Okay? I hit my car, right? It was just a mess of a frequency. And I said, I remember. And I stand with my opinion. Now, I want to take a minute to talk to you about why it is also taught to be so deeply associated with divinity. And to start, I want to remind you that 7 is the number of the demiurge. It is the number of the God that governs earth. It is not the number of the Most High. There we're talking about 0. We're talking about 9, that number of love and mastery. 7 is exactly what demiurge describes. It is lower urges. It is lower energies. It is the shadow self. You could argue the demiurge is the shadow self of the Most High, right? When you're talking about initiation, right? Whenever you're reading spiritual texts that speak of 7 and its divinity, it is also going to be very ritualistic, very esoteric, very initiatory. There are always steps being taken toward the divine. When you're talking about any sort of initiatory practices that gain greater access to the divine, you're not talking about love and light initiations. Any person with high spiritual sight, I assure you, has gained it through pain in this realm of reality. That is how this realm of reality operates. We are taught through trauma and pain. And when one learns to harness their own darkness, look inward, and master that trauma, that obstacle, that experience, and harness the power of it and learn from it, you ascend, you gain initiation. That is the initiation of transcending the demiurge in that 7 frequency. There is also another side to that, right? The left-hand path, where one's initiations bring one closer to that lower energy, those lower frequencies, those lower urges, the demiurge, so to speak. Okay? So I just wanted to share that with you. When we are talking about 7, it is deeply divine, but it is also deeply painful. Okay? It is also deeply painful. 7 people that resonate with the number 7 are my people. There are no strangers of trauma and hurt. But we are also brilliant and carry immense spiritual sight. Take care.